Millz Young here, MMA Locker Room, that is part of Pick Dawgz. Who's ready to bet on UFC? Me, that's who. UFC bet with me. And we're about to go over UFC 313. The headline, main event, is Ankalaev taking on Alex Pereira. Co-main event by Justin Gaethje taking on Rafael Fiziev. Headline by the feature fight, Jalen Turner taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. And look, man, we got a lot of other good fights to talk about and predict. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over every single fight, give you guys my best prediction, my best pick, let you guys know at the end of the video my two-piece parlay. But hey, before we do that, transparency is key. How did you guys do last week? Me, got beat up, bro. I mean, just beat up. It was like we couldn't predict anything right. The worst thing is we lost the parlay, and hey, man, we didn't do too great on the picks, man. I'll be honest, man. When you get beat up like that, you want to get back in the ring right back, right? So that's me this week, man. So hopefully you guys did a lot better than me on the predictions out there. We weren't even 500 on the predictions, but hey, that's how it is sometimes betting on MMA. When somebody gets punched in the face, it just goes the other way. Close fights, though, you know. Some judges gave it to fighters that, you know, the community thought should have had the other fighter getting his hand raised. What'd you guys think about some of the upsets last week? A lot of the dogs came through, man. And a lot of favorites, they weren't able to be the favorites no more, man. So let's just see what we got for you guys this week. All right, man. The first fight of the night. Let's talk about it. Diaz taking on Jordan Dos Santos. Diaz 9-3, 10-1 for Santos. In this one, Diaz is 0-2 in the UFC, but his boxing is clean, man. But he's a guy that's kind of been just fed to the wolves. What do I mean is, he's always fighting fighters that's supposed to get the win when they fight against him. Jordan Dos Santos, he covered that big price tag as an underdog in his Dana White Contender Series fight. Now, he's a big favorite in this one, 2-1 that is in here. If you ask me, I think Santos is the one to get his hand rightfully raised, but it's early on in the card, and it's two fighters that you really can't trust. You don't fade a bad fighter with another bad fighter. In this case, Diaz is going to be that bad fighter. Santos, the book's really not written out on him yet. The thing is this, he's a clean striker. He does have power. And I will say this, the upside on the finishability is going to be Santos. I think Santos gets it done. Second fight of the night. This one just got put together on short notice. Gutierrez taking on Castaneda. All right, so the opening line odds. Let's talk about it. Castaneda opened up the big favorite. I want to say about -180 on the book. Some people was able to get plus money on Gutierrez. Now, I want to say it's like a pick 'em on the odds. And it makes sense, man, because both these guys, they kind of got similarities when you talk about it. But Castaneda's stepping up into this weight class. So we'll see exactly how he's going to transfer over in this new weight class that he's fighting in. Gutierrez is a great dominant leg kicker, and Castaneda is a good all-around fighter, but he likes to switch stance. So that leg kicking that Gutierrez likes to do might not be the #1 target for him in this fight, right? Castaneda's keys to victory is to kind of get Gutierrez down to the ground, make this a clinching fight, make this more than just a striking fight. And hey, man, you might be able to get it your way, right? But I like Gutierrez in this spot. He was supposed to be fighting, I want to say about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago on another event, and so he's been just waiting around. Same with Castaneda. He was supposed to fight last week against Silva's Diego Andrade, and that fight got canceled. So both these guys are waiting out there to get their hand raised. And me, I gotta go with Gutierrez in this one, man. Close fight though, man. It could go either way. That's why the lines are pick 'em in this one. All right, third fight taking place. Marion Santos taking on Francis Marshall. All right, Marion Santos is going to be a -3-1 favorite in there. Explosive Muay Thai striker. Came from the LFA scene. I was watching this guy before he came to the Ultimate Fighter. And this is the thing. He was looking good in the LFA. He only has one loss, and that's to Dan Argueta. All right. Made his UFC debut. Won. And then what did he do? He got his hand raised again after that. So now I got to look at Francis Marshall and see what he's been doing in the UFC. He's a good all-around fighter, okay? Averages about 3.5 strikes landed per round. On top of that, 2.4 takedowns is what he's giving you guys per fight. I like Francis Marshall, man. I think he should have got his hand raised in his last fight out there. I think this line is a little bit off because Santos is the one that everybody's liking as of recently, but I do think Santos is the one that's going to be able to get his hand raised, and he's the one that I picked for this one. But Francis Marshall is going to be a live dog. So if you guys are looking at for some of the live dogs on here, man, Francis Marshall is definitely a live dog, man. The reason why is because Santos struggles with takedowns. He's been taken down in multiple of his fights, okay? And if he's not able to get back up to the ground, and if Marshall can keep him down for maybe a couple of minutes in both of those rounds, this might be a way closer fight than, you know, you don't want to be holding a minus 300 price tag if it's going to the scorecards. You always want that plus money in your price and in your pocket. And, you know, well, you always want the winner in your pocket, but you know what I mean. All right, man, next fight taking place. We got Carlos Leal taking on Alex Morono. Big favorite on the board. Stay away from it. Carlos Leal is like minus 800, minus 900. Alex Morono is a tough veteran that's been proven. And he's been shown that, hey, man, sometimes when you think you can count him out, you can't. And to count him out as a big underdog like this, you can't, man. Carlos Leal made his UFC debut against Ronald Fakadinov. Took that fight on short notice, okay? Former PFL fighter. But this is the thing, man. Carlos Leal does have knockout power. Alex Morono is a little bit chinny out there, and sometimes when he gets hit, he gets rattled. Carlos Leal, if he gets you hurt, he's going to go in for the kill. Seen this guy fight a lot at PFL. Interviewed him a couple of times over there as well. I think Carlos Leal gets his hand raised in here, and I think he wins inside the distance. Man, but that price tag there is pretty high. All right, man, next fight taking place. This is going to be a banger for you guys. If you guys are watching this right now, smash the like button for us over here on Pick Dawgz, okay? We're one community. It's us versus the books, okay? It's not me versus you, because you don't put no money in my pocket. It's not you versus him, because he ain't even going to put no money in your pockets. Us versus them. So, hey, man, if you're winning your bets, salute to you. Hey, and if you're not, hopefully we can make you guys get some more money, man, because that's all it's about. It's making money anyway. MMA Mafia. Making money anyway. Let's get it on, man. Next fight. Armor Petrosyan taking on Bruno Ferreira. Good fight in here. Armor Petrosyan is minus 155. Talented kickboxer. Taking on a guy in Bruno Ferreira who's just one of the guys that has the nickname as the Hulk. So what does that mean? Power in his hands, okay? But this is the thing. He does have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't go for wrestling or takedowns. He only has like 1 or 2 takedowns in all of his fights in the UFC. I like Armor Petrosyan to get it done in here. Keep it on the feet, keep skating around, kick up the legs, you know, tire him out, attack the body. But Bruno Ferreira does have that one-punch power. And if Bruno Ferreira wants to make this an easier fight, just go for the takedowns and wrestle. Armor Petrosyan can't stop takedowns. But this is one of those fights to where your back's up against the wall. And both these fighters. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bruno Ferreira has a little bit more out here to fight for and does put on those wrestling shoes and goes for a takedown and tries to make this an easier fight. But give me Armor Petrosyan and give me fight not going the distance. Next fight taking place, Joshua Van taking on Ray Saru. Man, it's going to be a good one, man. We got a striker in Joshua Van and a talented grappler in Ray Saru. Japanese prospect, man. His amateur career goes extensive. And what was he doing in there? Taking everybody down and showing them, man, I'm one of the best wrestlers in this division, okay? So far in the UFC, he has a win over Carlos Hernandez. But if this stays on the feet, I'm going to be honest, man, he's going to be outnumbered by the big different distances. By the big differences, man. I don't know where I was going with that one. But look and listen, man. Joshua Van averages 8.8 strikes landed. Compared to him, 2.4 strikes landed per minute. Can't compare with that. But look, the takedowns. He's good on the takedowns. 5.4 takedowns is what he's averaging. And Joshua Van does struggle with the takedowns. To be honest with you guys, Joshua Van has been one of the better prospects in the division. And he should be able to get up after he's taken down a couple of times. Ray Saru so far hasn't just been that dominant force in the UFC yet. But I like the dog in this one, man. Give me the Japan prospect, man. I think he's gonna be able to just isolate him in these rounds and just win a slow, boring fight. You know, I do. I think that's gonna be his game plan in this one. But to be honest with you guys, Joshua Van is a great fighter, and he's probably gonna outstrike him with numbers. I'm just kind of going off of the old way of betting. And hey, the old way of betting is take the wrestlers because they can get you down to the ground and win minutes, right? We're going to play that one out in this one, and that's just the game plan that I think his team has, because they know on the feet there's no way you can compete with Joshua Van. Compared to other fighters that he fought before, they didn't impose that threat like Joshua Van. All right, next fight taking place. Curtis Blaydes taking on Rizzion Kuniev. All right, let's talk about it. Curtis Blaydes is a -3-1 favorite in here. He's one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. He has the most takedowns in the heavyweight division. He probably has the most takedowns in the UFC. Complete. -3-1 favorite on here, but he doesn't shoot for takedowns. The word on the street is he hasn't landed a takedown since 2021. Shout out to my man Joey for that one. Rizzion Kuniev fought in the Dana White Contender Series, then went to the Eagle FC, then fought in the PFL, and it's been popped with all type of steroids, so he had to sit down on the sideline. But he's a good fighter, folks. In that time, he evolved. His striking is good. He can mix in wrestling. He's dangerous, folks. To be honest, I think the dog is live in this fight. But the fight resume and the fight IQ of Curtis Blaydes, you just got to make this an easier fight on here. Do not go out there and strike. Go for the takedowns. Earlier on, I was saying, hey, man, put some money on Kuniev. I'm still probably going to be putting a little bit of money on him, but to be honest, the pick, I got to go with Curtis Blaydes. I've seen this guy fight for the last 8 years. I know what he has. His striking is good. He has power, but he just doesn't go for takedowns anymore, man. And that's the thing that really scares me in here. So if he's not going out there for shooting for takedowns, sorry, man, I would have never said his name. But Kuniev, he's a live dog in here though too, so you guys already heard the way that the pick is, but the bets and the picks, two different things sometimes over here. Next fight taking place, Marcel Ruffy taking on King Green. Man, King Green, last time we seen him, he was out there against Paddy Pimblett. He went for a takedown and it seemed like he just put his neck out there and he got submitted. Wasn't a good look on there. Never seen him ever go for a takedown like that. Say what you want, but I ain't never seen nothing like that before, man. It's hard to get behind him in this one because that fight IQ that he displayed in that fight is untrustworthy, right? But Ruffy is a fighter that's getting overpriced by the market. Why? Because he's coming from a good team in the Fighting Nerd, so everybody wants to bet on this guy. He opened up like a -380 favorite. He's up to like a -550 or 6-1 favorite out there. I think Ruffy's gonna be able to touch him with the more power, but King Green gives people a lot of problems, man, on the feet, man. He doesn't give you a target out there, but he does keep his hands down. All you need is like one punch or two and you connect on him, you can knock him out, right? But the same to be said, man. King Green, he's a veteran in the sport. 32 wins, 16 losses, 1 draw. I think he fought people like Ruffy before, man. I think Ruffy wins, but at those odds, I'm going to be putting a little bit of money on King Green in here, man, because I think that he can win definitely 1 round, maybe even 2, because Ruffy isn't the most active fighter, looking back on his Dana White Contender Series fight, and then just looking at his last fight with James Lontop as well. So, yeah, man, the pick's going to be Ruffy, but, yeah, those odds, that's way too high, man. We seen King Green surprise people plenty of times as an underdog, so in here, yeah, the pick's going to be Ruffy, but yeah, you know which way the money should be going in. Because look, what can we bet? Tell you guys to parlay Ruffy -500 with something else and something else and something else to barely get like even odds? Not today, you know, not today. All right, next fight taking place. Lasmin Lucindo taking on Amanda Lemos. All right, Lasmin Lucindo's slight favorite here. 4-1 in the UFC. Amanda Lemos is the girl who has the better fight resume, better fight experience, and I want to say she has more finish ability, okay? But overall in the toolbox, Lasmin Lucindo is the girl that's going to have more tools to go to work, okay? She power in her strikes. She likes to throw those big counters. And she goes for the takedowns, man. She's a girl that's not scared to just go out there and wrestle and do whatever she needs to get you down to the ground. Brazilian fighter as well, so you know she's always going to have that little it factor in there. So, Brazil versus Brazil. Who you guys got in this one, man? I see a lot of people betting on the underdog in this one. But me, I like Lasmin Lucindo. I think she wins by decision in this one. All right, next fight taking place. We got a good one, man. We got Jalen Turner taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. Spotlight fight of the night, man. So Jalen Turner opened up the favorite, -125. Now the money came in on Bahamondes. He's the favorite, -130. The price is right on either of these fighters, man. Both these guys got similarities. When I'm talking about same physical frame and attributes, okay? The reach is going to be in favor for Jalen Turner. He's going to have, I want to say, a 74-inch reach on here. A little bit more that he can throw out there. The power, I got to go with Jalen Turner. Finishability, I got to go with Jalen Turner. The cardio, I'm going with Bahamondes. And the fight IQ, I got to go with Bahamondes in this one because it seems like, you know, he knows what to do as the fight goes. Jalen Turner, sometimes, as this fight goes and minutes go, man, he just throws that out the window. He's never won a decision, okay? So that means hasn't put it together yet to see exactly how to just win a fight 15 minutes without finishing an opponent. Back and forth fight, man. I like Jalen Turner to get his hand raised. I think this kid's special. I think that he took the rightful time off, took a year off, traveled to Florida, got with his old striking coach. I hear that his striking's crisp. I think he's going to finish Bahamondes. But with that being said, big fan of Bahamondes over here. So I see ways for both of these fighters to win. Bahamondes, if he wants to win, what he's going to do, keep Jalen Turner up against the cage, clinch him, go for the takedowns, okay? Don't give Jalen Turner a striking fight. That's the keys for victory for Bahamondes in this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and say fight not going the distance in this one. So if you guys want the best analysis on this one, pick whoever you guys really just see winning, because both these guys are good. And I'll be honest, man, the price that you could have got Bahamondes with at the even odds was good, but now -130, man, I don't know about that. You know, I know which way I'm gonna be leaning, and that's the tarantula. Let's bring it home. All right, man, next fight taking place. Rafael Fiziev taking on Justin Gaethje, a rematch that already happened before. And when it happened, Justin Gaethje was the underdog, and he won. Now what happened? Justin Gaethje's the underdog, and Fiziev's the favorite. Crazy, right? Justin Gaethje was supposed to be fighting, who was it? After Dan Hooker, and Dan Hooker pulled out. In comes Fiziev, okay? Took this fight in about 2 weeks short notice, okay? So with that, I was leaning toward Fiziev. But with that year off that he's had, that injury that he had with his leg, this is going to be his first time out there back in the cage. I think the plus money on Justin Gaethje is the way to go. He's a highlight reel. I get it. He got knocked out in his last fight. That's not going to stop the way that he fights or anything, man. He's only in one gear and one mode, and that's always the go. I was waiting on for later on in the week to finally make my pick and stuff. Wish I could have seen him on the scales and stuff before it came out, but hey, I'm going with Justin Gaethje in this one. And like I said, I was leaning on Fiziev, but just looking at, I did rewatch their first fight, and just looking at it, man, when Fiziev doesn't know what to do and he gets tired and winded, he shows it, okay? And it shows. When Justin Gaethje gets tired and winded, you wouldn't even know, because he just keeps going and going and going and hits you with more combos. So with that being said, man, I got to go with the dog, Justin Gaethje, in this one. I think it goes the distance. Main event time. We got Magomed Ankalaev, and he's taking on Alex Pereira, all right? So just to let you guys know, man, fan of both these guys. Well, not fans, but, you know, I support them. Alex Pereira, he's a good fighter as well. Ankalaev, Muhammad Ankalaev, I went to his last fight when he fought for the championship against Jan Blachowicz in that one. Now, let's talk about it, man. All right, so Ankalaev opened up the big favorite on here. Money came in, got him to a dog. He opened up -160. Pierre now is the favorite, and it's going back and forth, right? Let's talk about what Pierre needs to do. He needs to throw that left hook out there, okay? He needs to throw those leg kicks. Those leg kicks were giving Ankalaev problems with another fighter that he fought before, okay? It was Jan Blachowicz. I remember that one, okay? What does he need to do? He needs to make sure that he can stuff the takedowns from Ankalaev. That's the way for him to get his hand raised. Some of the keys to victory: stop the takedowns, get that left hook going, and man, that's really all you got to do if you're Pereira, right? But if you're Ankalaev, what do you got to do? You got to go out there and do what you said you wasn't. And let's go for the wrestling and takedowns, man. In one of the interviews, he said, if I fought Pereira, I'm not going to go for takedowns. I'm just going to strike him. Don't do that, bro. We need you to go out there and strike. And on the striking, I think he can actually outstrike him in numbers. He's a technical striker. He averages 1.6 takedowns, okay? But he doesn't go for takedowns too much, but he can because he has that Dagestan background in there. Give me Ankalaev in here at plus money in here. I think he has just more ways to win compared to Pereira. Pereira, he's been hit before. Not that most durable fighter. Ankalaev, I've never seen him shake and rattle, but Pereira, I'm trying to tell you, that left hook, man, it comes from anywhere, just a touch, and he knocks you out. But who do you guys got? I know a lot of you guys don't know Alex Pereira. It's rightful. The money's right on him as well. It's a pick'em price for a reason. So let me know exactly who do you guys got in the main event and predict the round that they're gonna win. All right, man. Let's go ahead and go over the 2-leg parlay to get you guys paid for this week's card. All right, so we're gonna take let's see, who do we want to go with in this week? Give me, man, it's a hard card to parlay, but give me Santos. We're doing the Santos parlay, man. Give me Jordan Santos and give me Marion Santos, okay? 2 Santoses. Meet me at the window and let's get paid. Millz Young here, part of Pick Dawgz. If you can't roll with the Pick Dawgz, stay on the porch.